Hello, welcome to another episode of the Chicago Success Story series on Ari'ze Women Network. I am Queen F. Smothers, your host, and thank you for joining us today. I am so excited because we have a wonderful guest. Just to kind of let you know, I'm going to give a background on what we're doing. This is the Chicago Success Stories. It's going to be a series of guests that I bring on that will feature artists, authors, entertainers, filmmakers. And then we're going to do a documentary later this year or early next year. So it's all going to be compiled and put together. Great guests, inspirations, encouragement, entrepreneurs to let you know, you can do it. You know, you can succeed. There are good things that come from Chicago. I know we hear a lot of bad, but there are really good people and things that happen in Chicago. And the way I stumbled upon doing this is I was in a group called the You're Not From 47th Street if you, and then you fill in a blank. You know, you have to know a place or a person or somewhere that you went in Chicago that you remember, the food, the restaurants, everything that was so good about Chicago back in the day. Like we say, Chi-Town, not Chirac. You know, there are some good things that happen in Chicago, and that's what we want to spotlight. So I have a wonderful guest today. His name is Oscar Wilson, and he is with the Cashbox Kings. He's a blues artist. And I'm just going to give you a little background of who he is if you haven't heard of him. Oscar Wilson joined the Cashbox Kings in 2007, bringing with him an instantly commanding stage presence and an authoritative vocal style that gives fire-breathing power to the Chicago blues. A self-taught musician and singer with an encyclopedic knowledge of almost every blues song known to man, Wilson is a natural-born entertainer. Born in 1953 on Chicago's South Side on 43rd Street, aka Muddy Waters Drive, Wilson grew up in the company of many famous blues artists such as Junior Wells, Elmore James, Big Smokey Smothers, and close family friend David Honey Boy Edwards. They were all regulars at the weekly Friday night fish fries and jam sessions at the Wilson home. Throughout his adulthood, Wilson held regular jobs, but he was always welcome with sitting in with Chicago blues mainstays like Melvin Taylor, Johnny B. Moore. His vocal inspirations range from Muddy Waters, B.B. King, and Albert King to Jimmy Reed, Jimmy Rogers, and Little Walter. But he mostly sings like Oscar Wilson. The Chicago Tribune declared Oscar Wilson stands as a dominant figure, and I would say a dominant figure and vocalist in blues music. He brings a magisterial presence. This is from the Chicago Tribune. So I'm going to bring on our good friend Oscar Wilson. I'm sorry, I'm a little tongue tied. Oscar Wilson, thank you for joining us. Hello, how are you today?
I'm all right. How are you today, Quinn?
Good, good. I'm so excited to have you on the Rise Women Network. I have seen you on your videos, your music, and I was pretty excited to I would say, stumble upon you. And just to kind of give the audience a background, I had no idea that me and Oscar Wilson are related. He is my uncle. How I met Oscar. I first saw a few years ago a video on YouTube, and it was on a video called Move Out to the Suburbs. And Oscar sings lead. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just kind of give you a background of the song. This is the video here. So here we go. You're just going to take a listen here.
There's a Starbucks on every corner. Restaurants that is nice. But when the hood goes up, so does the rent. And I can't pay my price. I gotta move out to the suburbs. Cause the low end got too high. They build high-end houses around where the projects used to be. They even got $1 million condos in Cabrini Green that move out to the suburbs. Y'all know it got too high. I can't live where I grew up, y'all. I gotta kiss my crib goodbye.
So I just wanted to give you guys a background of what I had been hearing, and I'm gonna tell you, when I heard that song, I was in the kitchen cooking. I almost dropped everything because I heard Chicago blues. Chicago blues has a distinguished sound, and a lot of people will tell you, there's a difference, different type of blues that you can hear and you can comprehend and understand and feel. And Chicago blues is one of those sounds, and you have that, Oscar. You have that sound. I heard my dad, Big Smokey. I heard, Muddy Waters. I heard it all in your voice. And what inspired you to? Did you write that song? Move out to the suburbs.
Yes, me and Joe Nosat, my co-partner in Cashbox Kings, we wrote it. I come up with the idea, because it's actually happening. It's just what's going on right now, the gentrification. And you move out. They move you out to the suburbs, move you down the projects, move you out to the suburbs. Now they're building high-end houses for the projects.
Right.
Let a few people in, but ain't no more missing rent days no more. You get out of there, then they move, because all you see is BMWs and Mercedes and stuff over there now. And so once you're gone, they don't do their obligation of letting the people in that building. But soon as you're gone.
Okay, I'm getting a little static. I'm getting a little static.
Okay.
Let's speak up a little bit louder. Yeah.
I said that you
Better.
Everybody that moves in down there now have to take a drug test.
Oh, really?
Everybody that lives in the apartments have to take a drug test.
Are you kidding me? I kind of heard about that.
No, it's true. And
Wow.
and then like if you lived in the projects and you were lucky enough to get one of these new apartments, well, they used to let them fall behind in rent. You fall behind in rent now, you just out. They'll put you out, and then they move somebody else, with money in, and you can see especially from 47th all the way down to 35th. The big change.
So that's the gentrification that we talked about that they said would occur, and it has occurred.
Yeah, even to the lakefront. 31st Street Beach. That was our place to go, but they didn't have hot dog stands and yacht clubs and bait shops over there now. But when it was just the black folk going to the beach, they didn't do anything for it. But now they've got skateboard parks, yacht clubs, hot dog stands.
Wow.
And now that they took it back over,
So Maxwell Street is where like the blues artists used to come and perform, and out on the street now that's like redone, and it's like a college town over there now, over on Maxwell.
They used to perform on Newberry. Well,
wow.
The next street over, but yeah, all the blues stars used to come down there and play every Sunday, and now it's they move some of the stuff over like a flea market type thing over on Canal. And, what's that other street close to that? New Orleans, I think, or something. Orleans or something. they have them all out there. And sometimes, well, when I went, they had a little band out there, you know. But it's not the same as it was. You know, it's
You
all
know, but that's kind of one of the things that we were saying is that, within this group that I'm in, it's like we didn't know what we had, even though that
right.
the neighborhoods have been revitalized. The sense of community is not there anymore, where you could go over to your neighbor house and talk to your neighbor, or have like Friday night fish fries. You
Yeah,
know, that sense of community is what's missing. Sure, it's nicer. It's revitalized, but a lot of the people, like you said, had to move out to the suburbs,
yeah,
and they kind of piled everybody up and stacked everybody up out in the suburbs. And now it's like, it's violence out there now, because you got some of the bad people that moved from the city and moved in the suburbs. And then you got good people too, but it's
right.
like, you know, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that was a good move?
Well, well, no. The era of crack really hurried it up
Hmm.
because like most of the people, when I was born on 43rd and Wells, and
Okay.
it was actually middle class. You know, we was one of the first big black families to move into that neighborhood. You know,
Okay.
and it was middle class because the stockyards were open. The fathers worked in the stockyards, the steel
Uh-huh.
mill, the cookie companies, the canning companies, Agov, ham companies, and all of them. All of that was open. Continental Can and all of that. The steel mills, U.S. Steel,
Hmm.
International Steel. And most of it had those jobs, and even construction. You
Right.
know, and so it was actually middle class. My family wasn't, but my mother's sister was middle class. She bought the building, and that's where we lived till my mother passed.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And
just mhm.
so, what I'm saying, the neighborhood had pride, uh, because everybody helped each other. You could sit out, on the porch all night long. And right now,
Okay.
you can't even sit on.
Right. Right. You can't sit out on the porch now, maybe a drive-by or something like that.
Right,
It's unfortunate, it's really unfortunate. And that's one reason why what we have the blues is that the blues uplifts people. I used to think, they used to have a taboo back in like the 80s and 70s, like, oh, blues music makes you feel sad. No, blues music actually lifts you up. It just depends on whatever circumstances you in, whatever mindset that you're in. It actually makes me happy when I hear blues music, and we need to keep it alive. Like one of my friends said, he said, we're losing a lot of the blues artists, that from back in the day, Muddy Waters, Lil Walter, all those people, they're gone. And we have to keep the tradition going with the blues music. And I'm glad that you're keeping blues alive, with the Cashbox Kings. That you guys keep that, the genre going. Because music has been the cure all. It really has. If it wasn't for music, like with the pandemic, I would have lost my mind. Gotta have some music, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
And so, yeah,
Me
and
too,
how we met was at the blues tribute that we did for Big Smokey and Little Smokey in Chicago. We
right.
had all people come from all different countries, not countries, but states,
Yeah,
statewide. They came to the Jimmy's Tap in Hyde Park, and in walked you. You walked in with my brother Ray, who was my brother from my father, Big Smokey, and your sister, I think,
yeah,
well, I was shocked to see you because I'm like, this is the guy that was in the video. And he sings, and this is the true blues man. And you got up there and you sung, and then I found out you were my uncle. So that really, it warmed my spirit. It just floored me, and you received me, embraced me and my sister Emma. And we had a good time. That was one of the best blues sessions that some of the fans said they enjoyed, when you guys
yeah.
came out. So tell me a little bit about how was growing up on the south side of Chicago. Did you get in? You didn't get into the bad crowd, did you? With the gangs or
Well,
anything like that.
well, I had big brothers. I didn't have to. My brothers were legends. You know, and
Hmm.
but I did anyway. Got into it. But I had a mother who was better than the game. Yeah,
Okay.
I like if they said, well, my mother said be in at 11. All I had to do, all that I was gonna do, had to be done before 11. And
Okay.
and uh, I couldn't come in the house at 11:01, 11:05. I had to be in the house before that clock strike 11. And
They
yeah,
didn't play that.
yeah, my buddies used to say, "Oh, you a punk." Yeah, but I ain't scared of y'all. But I'm scared of Maxine. I'm scared of Maxine, my big brother. You know, so
Right.
I holler at y'all, and through that, being uh, uh, afraid of
Uh-huh.
of what would happen to me once I got home, made me the man I am because my judgment, if I know it's not right, I don't care who it is, I'm not going to do it. If I'm caught in something, I
Okay.
did it because I wanted to do it. But most of the time, I know if something's not right, I don't want to be a part of that. So
Right.
I didn't go to jail till I was 33 years old. And
Okay.
that was an accident, a case of mistaken identity. So
Okay.
Uh, so when I went to jail, they kept me for so long. It was
Wow.
like, there's no way you lived on 43rd Street and you've never been to 35th and Low. There's no way. They couldn't find no fingerprints or nothing. We gonna find something on me, but they couldn't.
Mhm.
I said because I haven't done nothing, you know.
Wow.
And and uh, when I first went in, I was kind of leery because, like I said, I'm 33, never been inside a jail case. And but it was the environment of the people around me that scared me. My mother had been dead since I was 18 years old. But
Oh, okay.
in my mind,
Hmm.
I was figuring that my mother had always promised if I have to come to 35th and Low and get you, I'm coming down there with a stick with a knot on the end and gonna whoop your A right in front of your bad friends.
You heard that voice?
Yeah, and I was scared that that lady was gonna come around that corner at any minute and tear into me. You know, because I mean that thing, is still there. It's like now kids don't fear their parents. You know,
And that's how mothers are. Emma is saying good evening, by the way. Hi, Emma.
how you doing, girl? What's
And
going
that's
on?
how our mother was. Our mother didn't play. Look, we was more afraid of her than the police if we get in trouble. She didn't
That's
play
what
that.
I'm telling you. Look here, when I was in high school, this is honest to God truth. When I was in high school,
Hmm.
uh, and I would do something, get in trouble. I just no, give me. They would give you SWATs, the gym teacher. Oh, give me the SWATs. They now we're gonna put your pet. No, give me the SWATs. Do not call that
Okay.
lady. Don't call Maxine. Because
Mm.
I can tell y'all when I've had enough, but I can't
Right.
tell her when I done had enough. I had
Exactly.
she said feel like I had enough. So hey, and you a pump. Yeah, I'm a pump. But I know I can't win that fight.
I
We,
remember one time one of my brothers, Donald, um, he had got in trouble. My mother whipped him, and he could get on the phone and call the police.
yeah,
And the police came. They told my mother, they said, "Get him when we leave."
yeah. Hey,
They
hey,
didn't play back then in the day.
hey. That happened. I'm gonna say, hey, guess what? If you think you can raise them better than I can, you take them with you. It wasn't me,
Exactly.
it was another member of the family. And then she says, and matter of fact, if I go to jail, this little better not be here when I get back.
Okay. Their parents didn't play that back. They didn't play that back in the day. Because
No.
our parents is from the South. From the South, they didn't play that.
Right,
A lot of the parents, they came from Mississippi, moved to Chicago or New York, most major urban cities, but they brought that Southern mentality, and
Right.
they didn't play.
My daddy was from Alabama. My mama from Tennessee.
Okay. See?
But I'm telling you, that is what's wrong with children.
Yeah, I agree.
They don't fear anything. They don't fear the police.
They don't feel exactly. Yeah, because you let little Johnny and little Ray say what they want to say. They say that the kids is running the households out here, out over there, and we didn't.
These parents want to be friends, like my sons and stuff. I got grown sons. I ain't your friend. I'm your father.
Exactly.
And we can only hang so much, and then my sons will be around, give a party, something, and if their friends signifying, and they won't say nothing. My daddy here, So I go out and go with the kids. Now go and do your thing, But there's no respect. You want to be your kid's friend.
That's right. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem nowadays. They want to know why so many shootings and killings and stuff. Sure, back in the day they had that, they had the gangs. I remember, I even got jumped as a 10-year-old by a little gang of boys. So I know, that's one of the reasons why, some things are traumatic that I think about when I used to live in Chicago. And, then there are the good things, the restaurants, the people, the community. Yeah. Mom always had us involved in some kind of after school program or, a theater or something like that. So we made it out the hood, but we still miss the good things in the hood. Like, for instance, Big Smokey and Muddy Waters, they stayed, my mom, they stayed next door to each other on 43rd Street. Yeah. It wasn't nothing like Emma for Howlin' Wolf to come over or, one of the guys, blues artists to come over and do a jam session, a jam session in Muddy Waters' basement, so man, that's what's missing, that. But yeah, with, how did you meet my dad, Big Smokey? Because I know you say you also called him the ice cream man.
Yeah, well, like I say, Smokey's my nephew's father, and I think he's one of y'all, if I'm not mistaken, right? Is Ray the oldest?
Ray's the oldest, yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, he knew me all my life because me and Ray are just a little bit apart. Age. And I've been knowing him since I can remember because he was, coming by the house. I get up, and play music. In fact, he taught me my first guitar chord, at my house. So, but still, we were, like I said, we were poor. And he would come around, every time, ice cream man. It wasn't no good. Because we had the churn ice cream.
Okay.
But it was also good. When you finish, you hate it like heck. When you finish, my mother be done cook. It'd be anyway. But he would come around on his ice cream thing, and he was ice cream, and before we knew he was Smokey Smothers, he was the ice cream man,
Okay.
And later on, that's when we knew him as Otis.
Okay, and that's what he named his group. He had an album, I Got My Eyes on You, and he named the band members the Ice Cream Men on the album. Big Smokey Smothers and the Ice Cream Men. Yeah. So wow. And you said that sometimes you was happy to see that ice cream coming. He wouldn't charge y'all. He'd just give you the ice cream.
He would just give it to us. Well, he knew the situation because, he knew that I didn't have a father around, And no doubt he probably knew my father because my father was a blues man too.
Okay.
Yeah, and my father
Hmm.
died before I was born. So, and he would be,
Really?
yeah, much older than Smokey. But no doubt
Okay.
he played blues in Chicago. No doubt he knew him. Uh, but Smokey just was a nice man. I mean, uh, anywhere he saw you, he was always there with a smile. He
Mm-hmm.
was glad to see you. And because I mean, I was old and ready. I'd be all up and down for it, doing what boys do.
You say he taught you, he kind of taught you how to play the guitar or spend a
Yeah,
little time teaching you the blues?
yeah. But I used to watch him,
Mm-hmm.
uh, playing, and I looked, and I didn't have a guitar, but my brother did, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
when he'd leave, I'd steal it, not, I'd not steal it from the house, but I
You
would,
pick it up.
yeah,
And
And I'm not a great player, but I can play basic lump blues,
mm-hmm.
and a few other things. But you know, he taught me the first blues chord, and matter of fact, that's the only chord that right now to this day that I can play clearly.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that I can play clearly. So whatever I play is gonna be incorporated in there. You know,
Wow.
yeah. So
I've been, when I got on Facebook, that's when we discovered, me and Emma both discovered that a lot of the blues fans are on Facebook and they adore you guys. I tell you, I won't say worship, but
yeah,
it's one of my blues friends. Every day he's posting pictures of blues artists. They love you, they love your style, and it's the fact that they help to keep the blues alive too, the
yeah,
fans,
yeah,
by
yeah,
attending the concerts, and it's like they really adore and they respect, the blues artists. But there are ins and outs of the music world.
yeah.
What challenges did you face um, in the music industry? What are, I know there are good points. You're on stage, you make people happy. They enjoy it, and you get a good feeling. What are the other downsides of the music industry that you think you want to share?
Well, it's not the blues industry is not like say pop or rap where you get and come right in, I guess, and sell out your trunk or whatever and make a zillion dollars. That's not going to happen. Um, but it's like they have to say you have to pay some dues. And then now and then some hot shot will come along, but they're really not in the playing blues individuals like that. You've got a few young men coming up, like Quan Willis, uh, uh,
Mm-hmm.
man in St. Louis, Marquise Knox, uh, this is cool, Quan Willis,
Come a little bit closer to your mic.
uh,
Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
that's better. Yeah.
Marquise Knox, Quan Willis, Marcus Cartwright might be his name. I may have his last name wrong.
Uh-huh.
But he's a
Uh-huh.
young man who, played blues. Kingfish. Um,
Kingfish. Yeah.
yeah, and but as far as raw blues, it's a lot of young blacks out here doing it. But you he has to work hard, because you figure the average um, white person, he want to get y'all. His mama take him to buy him a Fender Stratocaster, American made,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or a Gibson, And if say a young black, say a black musician, he got one guitar, You know what I mean? And the kid,
Right.
you can't let the kid mess it up because that's his, that's his thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like me, what I do is I'm like a kid in a candy store. I may see something I like it because it's pretty. It doesn't matter to me who made it, who was
Mm-hmm.
made by. If I see it, I like it. Then once I get tired of playing with it, I throw it away. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually throw it away. I give it to a young person who's interested in the music. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And then if I see another toy, I buy me another toy. When I
Okay.
finish playing with it, I'll give it away. You see what I'm
So
saying?
what about, like, are you writing songs? Are you copywriting your songs? Because that's a problem with black artists, that back in the day they were just happy with playing some of them or performing, and they didn't learn the business aspect. And I like to share with the audience, please, whatever you do, learn the business aspect of
Oh yeah,
music, because you can be taken advantage of, and
you
you
will.
everybody will be enjoying the fruits of your labor except
You
for your
will.
family.
You will be taken advantage of. You. Not you could.
Will.
You will until you learn uh, some things. You will be took advantage of. That's just the
Hmm.
nature of the beast. And
Hmm.
like they say back in the day, the blues man made now and then get a roll of $100 bills. He was happy.
Hmm. Hmm.
When you can get a Cadillac car, and a couple of $100 bills. Well, now and then, even like the movie probably wasn't all
Hmm.
right. Say, what's wrong with you, Mud? Geneva or want a house?
Right.
I mean,
Right, the Cadillac Records. Uh-huh.
yeah,
And
I mean,
remember Muddy said, no, Howlin' Wood said when Marshall, not Marshall, Leonard Chess said, hey, I want to pay you. He said, no. He said, just pay me what you owe me. Just pay me what he was trying to give him a Cadillac. Wolf.
right.
And Wolf was like, no, just pay, don't give me no car. Pay me what you owe me.
He said, I don't borrow from the store, and he's right, because uh, it's like me. I'm like this here. This is one thing about me. I never discuss what another man makes. This is business. But all
Hmm.
I know is what you promised to pay me. That's what I want. I
Right.
don't. You don't get paid by the venue. None of that. You asked me to pay. You play for this. You
Right.
understand? You supposed to have that. You know what I'm saying? You
Exactly.
deal with the venue since you running the show. You see? But I don't have
Exactly.
what you give another band member because it ain't my business.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I don't care. All I care about is me. But still in the end, the short end of the stick, your brother gonna get it. The
Whew.
brother gonna get
That's
it.
how it is. That's how it was. That's how it is. But it doesn't have to remain that way.
No,
I
it
was
don't.
Today is Prince's birthday, the pop artist or whatever. He did a lot of genres, Prince. And
Mhm,
I was looking at a documentary, and he had started to take ownership of his music, as far as he
mhm,
started doing his own downloads. He created a website
mhm,
that had his music on it. And Prince was ahead of his time, because that was back in like the 80s, and then people start saying, wait a minute, or the 90s rather. They start, now we doing downloads. Now there's digital downloads, and
mhm.
people are making money on their own website. So there's ways to flourish in the music industry if you do it right. You don't have to be, learn the lessons from back in the day, from our people that made the mistakes, that didn't get the residuals that they should have gotten. you know
Well, it's like me. I'm not very computer skilled, and it takes some savvy. So
it
go
does.
get your grandson or your nephew or your niece
Yeah.
and to the computer.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
sitting at home on the computer anyway. Right.
that's what they do.
Hmm.
And and they'll probably know. like a lot of things I didn't know from the beginning,
Uh-huh.
that I know now, and
Right.
everything has changed, in essence for me.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Mm-hmm.
I learned from a few people, but one person in particular, somebody who I really can't stand, Teacher Fa, and she always say, "Know your worth."
Mm. Big
Uh,
Smoky.
hey, know your worth, because if you don't, ain't nobody gonna try to give you your worth. They're gonna try to get you
Mm-hmm.
for less than what you're worth, because that's what you're presenting to them.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
and a lot of these venues are preying on the pandemic. Oh, the pandemic, and this is all I got. Well, when you get the rest of the money, call me back. Because you
Right.
got
Exactly.
to have mercy from the government too. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But now, if you look at some of these places, the blues people get the same amount they was getting when your daddy was doing.
Really? And what's with the penny? What's with the splitting the penny up too? I hear, where they splitting a penny up. I mean, it's just ridiculous, what they're doing. And, you know, but we have to take ownership. We have to be knowledgeable, get the computer knowledge, or get the young people to help us, because I don't want to see any of us being taken advantage of, because my dad, to be honest, he didn't enjoy the residuals of his royalties until
Right,
after he passed and his kids did, which,
right,
there's not a whole lot, but
yeah,
still, he was selling ice cream as a
yeah,
part-time, but now he's got a catalog of over 30 songs. Some of the music that you hear Muddy Waters singing, my father wrote, but he enjoyed doing what he was doing, but I'm sure he still wanted to enjoy the money also, but that
right.
didn't happen, so we want our viewers, music artists, to learn from the past,
But
um,
what the way I see it,
and
it's
by the way, real quick, I just put Oscar's Cash App uh, in the link. So below, if you want to Cash App Oscar, because he does have music that he puts out with the Cashbox Kings, and also he's got One Room Blues. I think that you did that CD. So if you want to give to Oscar, that would be great to help to continue to support the blues. So what were you gonna say, Oscar? Thanks.
the thing is what has to happen is why does everybody else have to truly capitalize off of what our parents' blood, sweat, and tears have done? A
Hmm.
lot of people say, well, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't say this here. Although I wrote a song about it, Blues Man Next Door, you
Mm.
know, and it's about, you
Hmm.
know what I do, but you don't want me living next door to you.
Mm.
So
Oh,
you
ouch.
take
You
a
gonna
listen
step
to
on
that.
some toes now.
No,
It's the
no, but
truth anyhow.
it is time for the truth. It is time for the truth because you getting all the cheese and I'm getting the crumbs.
Exactly.
This is our music. We should get paid for it. You see what I'm saying? It's time, and everybody's scared. If this takes away uh, people wanting to see me, fine with it. I'm fine with that. But it's time that we get our just due. You go to a place, the white man get all the money. We get the scraps.
Mm.
It's gotta stop.
I
Pay
mean,
me.
it's the truth. It's really the truth.
You know. And people say, oh, yeah, you should stick to music. If I stick to music, I ain't gonna have.
Whoa. Who said? Wait a minute now. Wait a minute now. You talking about my uncle now? Wait a minute. I mean, it's not just about the music. See, that's the problem. Just sticking to the music. Remember, was it Chuck Berry in Cadillac Records when he was
Yeah,
sitting on one side and the
yeah,
guy said, I'm going to make you rich and I'm going to make you famous. He said, hold on a minute. And he switched seats. He said, now,
yeah,
what did you just say? I'm going to make
yeah,
you rich. I want to be both. Okay. You know, don't just make me famous. I want to
yeah.
be rich too. You know, because why let people just take advantage of you? You know, time out for that. We have to learn from our ancestors' mistakes that they made, you know.
Right. You know, and you know,
Mhm.
you got all these people living hound and hog off of blues, you know. And
Mhm.
I think, you know, they knew they were. They got great advertising
Mhm.
and all that. I ain't talking about that. You got yours. Good. I'm glad you got yours, but what about me?
What about me?
What about
Exactly.
Maxine, baby boy?
You
You
know,
know, I want some money too. I love the
artist,
blues, but I need money just like you.
right? Blues artists dying without a headstone. You can go out to
Yeah,
Oakwood Cemetery on out on 95th Street, and it's hundreds probably of blues artists out there without even a headstone. You know, can't even afford a wife widow can't even afford a headstone. It's not fair. It's not right. Why enjoy our your music but not support, you know, the artists? And I'm really speaking about the industry because like the people that the little people they don't know or they're not taking advantage, they're enjoying the music, but the industry, you know, if you're making money off the artist, make sure the artist is well taken care of, you
well,
know.
let me say this. Uh, Alligator Records, whom I
Mm-hmm.
work for, Bruce Iglau, the boss,
Uh-huh.
whom he likes to be called, the little guy who likes to be called boss. But do you
Yeah, my
know,
dad my dad was on the alligator too. Uh-huh.
yeah, but you know, he does things that he don't brag about it, but he helps out many artists, help them,
Good.
you know, get buried, you know, if they need some. So you know what I mean. And he don't ask for those allocations, so I have to give him that.
Bruce
You
Igler,
know,
is
even
it
during
Bruce?
Bruce Iglau, yeah,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah,
and
he's a good guy.
yeah, he's not out there advertising that.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And people that's not on his label, you know,
Right.
he's out there and will try to help them. So,
Mhm.
you know, I'm not saying everybody's like that.
Right.
I'm saying for the most part, most are. So you made all of this money off of my people. What did you give them back?
Hmm.
What did
Exactly.
you give me back? So your advertising me and are better than mine. Your, you know, your way of doing things better than mine. But what are you giving back for what
Hmm.
you took? You know,
Exactly. You know.
no. What are you giving back?
Right. Because you know that's where
I don't like me. I don't have money to give none of. But like I said, I'll give them all instruments. I mean,
hmm
you know, I got I pick up things at flea markets, some horns and things. I know a
hmm
little kid need one. I'll give it to them. You know, that's the only thing I can contribute back. Buy him
hmm
some ice cream. You know, because I mean, I ain't got nothing. You know, I just went through something, and I don't know what I'm gonna have to end up paying. I hope it ain't much, but doing
Are you
this,
talking about your medical?
yeah, my medical bills and things, and I'm still waiting on the insurance company to kick their end in before,
Hmm.
you know. And like Bruce has been like, look, man, I do what I can, you know, to help you do this. You know, I didn't ask him. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And like we didn't get off on the right foot together, you know, from the beginning.
And
But what
see,
we have now, among all things, other thing is like I said, respect.
and
You
see,
know,
this is kind of like a segue into what health is wealth. You know, I don't like to talk about people's personal business, but I know on Facebook you made it public, known that you were going through some health challenges. And that's why what you're talking about now is that you got health bills that you know that are due and everything. And I think this is where people should come through as come through for your artists, or not so much your artists, even the fans, come through for the person that you really admire. And so here's the Cash App, address for Oscar Wilson, because you've got medical bills.
Oh yeah.
Now, speaking of your health, how are you doing? What's going on?
Well, I went to I have stage 4 prostate cancer,
Oh my goodness.
and I was told at my general hospital that there was only two things they could do for me: is give me hormone shots that slow it down some, or remove my testicles. You know, and so I said, well, number two not happening. So
Mhm.
I came home and told my wife, Ari'ze, I said, get my papers ready, my insurance papers and everything. So her sister, which is a nurse, and they said, well, why don't you try Mayo Clinic? And I'm like, it's hard to get in out here. That is hard to get in there. And they said, well,
Mhm.
do it anyway. So I did it. 2 weeks later, they called me. Uh, this is why I can say God is good. And
Amen.
God loves me. You
Yes.
And because now did this. This is true. I know we're probably short for time, but this is true.
Hmm.
Listen, when they called me there and I went to see the doctor, the first doctor,
Hmm.
taking on the background, blah, blah, blah. And then, he just said, hey, well, what do you do for a living? I said, I'm a musician. He said,
Uh-huh.
music. I said, yeah. He said, what kind of music? I said, blues. He goes, what? Blues. Come here. He takes me to his office. No, this is true. He takes me to his office. He got pictures of Muddy Waters, Highland Wolf,
Are
King,
you kidding me?
all the people on the wall. Now he's South Korean. His name is Dr. Kwon. I would say
Wow.
uh, his name is Dr. Kwon. He is something else. And then so when we get back, it's up to Dr. Stish whether I get the treatment. And
Uh-huh.
that's the guy's radiologist. So he calls Dr. Stish, and he's on speakerphone. Dr. Stish, I have a gentleman over here who needs us. And he said, look, we are packed. He said they only take 6,000 a year. He said, we are full. We can't take it. He said, no.
Wow.
He says, no, Dr. Stish. No, this guy is a Chicago blues man. You got to take it. He said, look, Dr. Kwan, we are filled. He said, no, man. He said, this man's a world renowned recording artist. You got to take him. Finally,
Wow.
he said, okay. And I couldn't get this special x-ray until he okayed, Dr. Stitch okayed it. So when they got it and they found out that I know only had cancer on my spine, I had lymph nodes infected, you know. And
Wow.
so he said, hey, this is really nothing. He said, because we have people coming here who's rich, sultans and stuff come here to be cured. And he said, Oscar, this is not a bad case. I said, but that ain't what they explained to me. I thought I was
Wow.
going on to meet my maker. So, and just to show you how good that was, a place I was supposed to stay, for free, called
Uh-huh.
Hope Lodge. So when I get there, it's closed for COVID. Now,
Oh, I remember you was posting
hey,
about that.
I have no place to stay. Now, a cousin whom I just met,
Hmm.
uh, on the internet. We never, and she says, look, I got a place. I'm only about 2 miles. You can come and stay with me. I
Mm.
mean, I'm a
Look
stranger.
at God. That's
Hey,
God.
my God love me. I don't know what yours do for you, and I don't care what you call it, but my higher power loves me. You
Amen.
understand? And then when I went there, but now before I went there, they was telling me $77 a day. It would be the cheapest hotel I could get. I said, well, I ain't, I only got X amount of dollars, so I'll sleep in my truck some, and I really need to go clean up. I'll go, do a hotel room. So I
Mm.
stayed with 6.5 weeks. They never asked me. They treated, how some people, man, I'll be glad when he gone.
Mm.
I never felt that bad. You know,
Wow.
yeah. And her name is Kimberly Rush. You know, and you know, she
Mm.
he don't really know nothing about me. Just we kinfolk.
But he
You know,
know that you a blues, that you are a musician, and he respected that. You know.
yeah. And but my point is this here. My fans, I didn't know my fans were faced as wide as they
Mm.
are. You know what I mean? My prayer circle was so broad, until all I could do, sit up with tears in my eyes, because
Wow.
I didn't know that they really, had that kind of thing for me. And I must say that my fans sent me uh, care packages.
Really?
They did. A lot of my fans sent me care packages. I won't call no names,
Wow.
no blame, but I love my fans, and I do my best to entertain for my fans. And all I'm saying is the way God laid that out for me,
Mm-hmm.
and being off for all this time without a job, and I have to commend my wife. I'm glad I had a good foundation, because
Amen.
it's been really rough. You know,
Wow.
you see what
That's
I'm
a
saying? So
bless.
God looked out for me even before I got to that point, because He gave me help.
Amen.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm. Amen. That's a blessing. You know, your wife, your fans, and then the
Yeah,
doctor is a blues fan. You know, it's like God is there. He worked everything out and
yeah,
it's still working everything out. And
yeah.
remember this, the body has a way of repairing itself also.
That's true.
So you continue to pray, continue to, do your spiritual thing and
Always,
continue to do your medical, but
always.
the body has a way of healing, but eating better, and stuff like that, and just taking better care of our body, that's gonna help, you know. So do whatever you can, to stay healthy. We want you around
Hey,
continuously.
I will be in
Continuously.
Eau Claire. I will be in Eau Claire soon.
Oh, that's right. You coming to Chippewa, I think. Chippewa,
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
forget the exact date.
You doing a show. You still on the road. And man,
Yeah.
that's just a blessing.
hmm
That's
And
a blessing.
we will be in Millennium Park at the band shell for Alligator Records 50th anniversary celebration. It will have a multitude of alligator
Oh,
artists there. I'll be performing uh, the hit, was it the wine talking with Shamika Copeland? It was
okay.
nominated Song of the year the pandemic started. But
Wow.
and we'll be doing that, and the Cashbox Kings will be closing the show. So that's September 18th. I believe it's free.
Oh, really? Where's it going to be held?
Millennium Park in Chicago.
Oh, in Chicago.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a nice location. We're
yeah,
gonna
and
have to try to make it back to Chicago. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I wanted to do the series. There are good things happening in Chicago. If you just look at mainstream media and close your eyes, you'll think that it's just all bad in Chicago.
that's when and I tell people that, you know, uh, and and number one, with me, I just think I don't care if you're in Chicago or Timbuktu or out in space. When the Lord said your time is up, that
Hmm.
damage hits that end, it's over. It's over.
That's right.
So,
It's nothing you can do.
what have the babies done to be shot and killed? Nothing. You see what I'm saying? And and one of my favorite songs, Stevie Wonder's "The Ass," said God knew exactly where He had wanted you to be placed.
Uh-huh.
I mean, and I believe that because I know there's been some times I was in situations where I probably should have been killed, but I wasn't.
Okay. Oh.
And in my mind, I was finna die when I turned 55. But lo and behold, I'm 67 years old. I'm still here.
Are you? And looking good, sounding good.
Hey,
Wow. God has been good to you. And you know, that's what this why I wanted to do this program for you to encourage my audience, inspire them, and you have, and you will continue. We'll support you. Um, I enjoyed our conversation. You are a magnificent man. You're my uncle too.
hey,
I mean, hey, Oscar Wilson is my uncle of the
hey, you know
Cashbox
what you make for
Kings.
that meal
The
when we get
Cashback Kings is great too. I love their music. I was listening to. I did a download yesterday. So if you see Oscar Wilson and Cashback Kings, download their music. Check out their videos. They're on YouTube under Cashback King. And thank you, Oscar. We're gonna close out. We actually been talking for almost an hour, but we've got a few more minutes. Any last words you want to just say to the audience to encourage them, inspire them, you know.
you know, uh, yes, support the music, of the artist. Now, I think everybody's a little thirsty for live music again because of the pandemic. But, you know, give, purchase. Somebody come up to you. A lot of people. I wrote a song called "Download Blues," and a lot of people you come up and say, buy my CD from me. Well, I'm a bad. I downloaded off of the internet, and that's why we
Wow.
wrote that song. Joe Nosak and I, we wrote that song called "Download Blues." But you are really uh, helping uh, the artists, and their families by purchasing.
Yeah.
Yes, you can get it free,
Hmm.
but
Be.
like me, I go to all places, and I support my community. I support
Hmm.
black stores. I do that wholeheartedly. That is my first option because we have our insurance is high. Well, you're higher than everybody else, but I have to pay more than everybody else.
Uh-huh.
It's just like organic vegetables and regular grown vegetables where they might pesticide or whatever. Now the organic vegetables is more, but if you think about it, you throw away more than you use actually. So you get all
Exactly.
this good organic vegetables. Think about
Oh,
that.
okay. Right. And that's what it's about. You know, we support and we help, encourage people. It's about living better, being more healthier, being more conscious, protect your music, protect your creativity, and Emma said angels on earth.
Yeah,
God bless you, Uncle Oscar. You got our members, subscribers saying divine intervention
yes,
related to your health. It was a divine intervention with the doctor, being a music fan, and you walk in his office and saw pictures of Muddy Waters. Man, it's like, there's a thing called Blues Heaven that Willie Dixon created, and Marie Dixon, his wife, Willie, which is Willie Dixon is one the big composer of a lot of blues songs in
right,
Chicago. He was portrayed by Cedric the Entertainer in Cadillac
right,
Records. Well, the address 2120 South Michigan, that's where Blues Heaven is located. It used to be the old Chess Records. And I
right.
believe there is a blues heaven. I believe that there's a
Yes,
soul heaven, like
yes,
Tyrone Davis talked about soul heaven, blues
yes,
heaven. They still there. They jamming. They waiting on us.
yes.
So
Let me say one
it's gonna
last
be
thing.
okay.
Let me say one last thing. Don't
Uh
you
huh.
and Emma forget about my meal when I get up there. I'm not getting out of that. Y'all
Oh,
gonna feed me?
Emma's the cook, but yeah, we got something planned for you. We gonna feed you.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us,
All
Oscar.
right.
Thank you for coming on the Rise Woman Network. I appreciate you so much. We appreciate your
Anytime.
music and your talent, and you be blessed. And thank you, viewers, for joining us on the Rise Woman Network. Be sure to subscribe and like the page. That's the only way we can keep it going.
Yeah.
I
I
need you to
think
subscribe. Hit Oscar's Cash app. We'll put it in the below the video. Um, And I just want to thank you, Oscar, again for joining us. Thank you, fans and viewers and subscribers, for joining us on the Rise Women Network. And everybody be blessed. Thank you, Oscar.
Thank you.
Thank you. Be blessed.
I'll talk to
Thank
you
you.
later.
All righty. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening and be blessed. Like
Yes.
and subscribe. Thank you.